If you've ever read any articles about personal finance, you know that it is in your best interest to begin saving and investing as soon as possible to create a nest egg for yourself. However, the amount of money that is truly required to fund a pleasant retirement is a topic that frequently sparks heated disagreement. So, before we discuss this in detail, please subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon. The Financial Independence Retire Early community has put in a lot of work toward providing an answer to this question. This community comprises individuals focused on accumulating sufficient wealth to quit their 9-to-5 jobs and live off their investments well before the conventional retirement age of 65. They've devised something that they've referred to as a f.i.r.e number, which is unique for each individual and is as follows. It's the result of a computation that, based on a set of assumptions, predicts how much money you will need to save up to be able to live off the income from your investments indefinitely. According to Grant Sabatier, author of Financial Freedom and co-founder of BankBonus.com, going through the exercise of calculating that number is crucial to understand your goals, even if they do not involve retiring early. You offer yourself more flexibility and possibilities in life with every dollar you save, he explains. Every dollar counts. Assess how much you have put away in savings and investments, and then ask yourself, how many months of financial independence do you have? How to calculate your f.i.r.e number. You calculate your f.i.r.e number by taking your anticipated annual expenses in retirement and multiplying that figure by 25. Therefore, if you expect that your yearly expenses in retirement will be $50,000, you'll be able to call it quits when the sum of your investment and savings accounts reaches $1.25 million. It's a straightforward computation, but the results depend on a few fundamental presumptions. One of these is the so-called 4% rule, a retirement tradition that rose to prominence with the publication of seminal research from Trinity College in 1998. According to this rule of thumb, an investor can safely withdraw 4%, adjusted for inflation, from a balanced portfolio of stocks and bonds each year during retirement and still be relatively confident that he won't be withdrawing more money than the portfolio is earning. This percentage is taken from the portfolio's total value and then divided by the inflation rate. This strategy is successful because compound interest will keep the remaining portion of the portfolio growing, even while you continuously take little chunks out. When it comes to investing, there is no guarantee, as the market might move in either direction at any given time. On the other hand, the broad stock market has generally moved upward throughout history, with the S&P 500 averaging an annualized return of about 10% since 1930. Sabatier points out that even if the original rule was designed to be applied throughout a typical retirement timeline of 30 years, because it factors in inflation, it is still possible to be successful indefinitely, even if you leave earlier. Acceleration is inherent to the compounding process. This is how it works. He describes it as an exponential growth curve. The findings of the Trinity study were based on 30 years. However, this time frame can be expanded. And because of the difference in medical expenses, you need much less money at 30 to retire than when you're 65. Other factors to consider when calculating your number. The decision-making process behind your retirement savings can be affected by various other variables. However, there are a few that are important things to consider. 1. The 4% rule itself may need a little tweaking. Although the model is founded on historical data from the market, many say that investors should not anticipate returns to be as robust in the years to come. For example, analysts at Morningstar recently determined that a withdrawal rate of 3.3% in retirement is likely a safer bet for people trying to live off of their nest egg without running out of money. So if you believe Morningstar's research, you should multiply your anticipated expenditures by 30.3 rather than 25, which will give you a more accurate estimate. 2. Your expenses may be higher than you think. According to Cody Garrett, a certified financial planner and owner of Measure Twice Financial in Pearland, Texas, an advisory specializing in early retirees, you will need to consider how prices may increase between now and when you stop working. The 4% rule factors in inflation during your retirement. But inflation is a persistent problem, and it will continue through your retirement. For example, if you believe that you need $60,000 to live on, and there is inflation of 2.5%, then in 10 years, that number will balloon to approximately $77,000. 3. The cost of medical care is high. According to Garrett, if you are considering quitting your job for good, you will need to consider the expense of your healthcare, which may be more expensive than anticipated. He argues that many individuals will look at the amount being deducted from their paychecks and conclude that this is the cost of their health insurance. They think their coverage costs $6,000, but they don't realize that their employer is often financing $15,000 to $20,000 in healthcare costs. You may determine the overall cost of your current plan by looking at your W-2, which details the combined contributions made by the company and the employee toward your healthcare. Factor flexibility into your retirement plans. You can modify all of the figurative knobs on the website for Sabatier's book, which is a f.i.r.e number calculator. These knobs include the rate of return you anticipate your investments will generate, the pace of withdrawal you wish, your current income, and any one-time future expenses you expect. According to Garrett, if you want to reach your target figure and have a smooth transition into retirement, you will probably need to make adjustments frequently between now and then. Consider the past 5 or 10 years and imagine what your life was like at that time. Long-term forecasting will be difficult for you since your life will be full of significant forks in the road and a great deal of uncertainty. Therefore, you need to think not only about what you're retiring from, but also what you're retiring to. What will you do with your money and time once you've left the workforce? It doesn't matter if you're planning to retire tomorrow or in 40 years. Experts advise keeping money that you want to spend in the next couple of years in safe, liquid assets, such as high-interest savings accounts or short-term bonds. Of course, this is truly regardless of when you plan to retire. However, it is possible that doing so will make it possible for you to take what is known as a mini-retirement, during which you test the waters of financial freedom for a while, perhaps a year. According to Sabatier, the most critical step in effectively maximizing your f.i.r.e number is to understand that the money you save can purchase time you are not required to work. He says you have 4 years of freedom in the bank if you're planning to spend $50,000 a year and you have $200,000 saved. Therefore, if you take a year off, you might believe you still have 3 years left. Although, you could leave for a while and come back to find that your money had increased to the same level as when you left it in the stock market, which is a beautiful thing about the stock market. So, that's it for today. Please comment below if you have any further queries. Our team will try its best to answer them as soon as possible. Press the bell button and subscribe to our YouTube channel to stay up to date with all the latest videos. Thanks for watching.